A lot of the locals that I meet during my voyage on my sailboat Karl are super excited to know how life on a sailboat actually works. Especially the kids are fairly intrigued about things like cooking on a sailboat, electricity on a sailboat, and what you do about water. When you live off-grid, pretty much everything is limited. Space is limited, electricity is limited, cooking gas is limited, and water is pretty limited. On Karl I have 2 water tanks. One is 140 liters capacity and the other one is 70 liters. So how much water does one actually really need? I was curious as well, so I was actually documenting how much water I was spending during 1 week on my sailboat Karl. But before we dive into how much water I use on board my sailboat Karl, let's take a look on how the water actually gets on board. One way is filling up your tanks in a marina. And another one is to fill up jugs on land and somehow bring them to your boat. Of course, you can always outsource some water-related activities to be done ashore. But let's say that's probably not the most convenient for daily practice. In the rainy season, it's not a problem at all to get by because there is a lot of water just pouring down from the sky. And you can either use it right away for extended showers or for doing laundry, for example. And you can catch it and it goes directly into the tank and it's a super awesome water source. During dry season it's a little bit more difficult and I have to find water sources on land and then take my kayak and fill up my water tanks jug by jug, or ask a fellow cruiser with a dinghy to help me fill up my tanks. That got a little bit tedious over the years and I got a little bit tired of it. Luckily, I have a Rainman Watermaker on board since quite a while now. It's a portable system with an electrical pump and a case with 2 membranes that turn salt water into purified drinking water. Pretty darn cool if you ask me. The system runs on 110 volts and produces delicious 140 liters or 37 gallons per hour. It's quite a simple plug-and-play system that's super easy to set up.
Okay, hose is overboards, brine is overboards, fresh is overboards, pressure is connected, valve is open, should be good to go.
Lots of fresh water. I usually run my Rainman for about an hour a week to top up my water, and I try to do this on a sunny day so I can run the Watermaker on solar power. It has a power consumption of 1.25 kilowatts and draws about 12 amps at 115 volts. So let's see what that looks like on my boat. I run this AC model on my 2 kilowatt inverter that is fed by my 12 volt DC system. Here you can see that the difference between the current coming in by solar and being taken out by the Watermaker is roughly 74 amps at 12 volt. So to calculate the full draw of the Watermaker, we need to add the 23 amps that you see coming in here from the Xantrex panels in the back, and another 10 amps from 2 solar panels that are currently laying on the deck. That adds up to a total current of 107 amps at 12 volts. So roughly about 1.28 kilowatt of power being drawn by the Watermaker. I have a beefy lithium battery bank of 3 times 100 amp hours. So that's 3.6 kilowatt hours capacity. So as you can see, it's no problem at all to run the Rainman for an hour on my system. But since it looks like there might be some rain coming, let's pack up this little gem and let's move on to my weekly water consumption. Before packing up, you have to quickly flush the membranes with fresh water. Remember the black bucket I filled in the beginning? Oh, that's what that was for. Decrease the pressure to 0, shut off the pump, switch the water intake to fresh water, switch the pump back on, and after 10 liters, the system should be flushed and fresh water should be coming out of the brine hose. Et voila! That's it! Simple as that.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue.
Now that you know where the precious water on Karl comes from, how much of it do you think I use on my sailboat during 1 week? Let's start with the most essential, drinking water. I use about 3 liters of water for drinking every day, so that's 21 liters a week. Then there is cooking. For cooking, I use about 2 to 3 liters a day for cooking pasta or rice or potatoes or washing vegetables. So that is a total of 21 liters for cooking for a week. And don't toss away the water from cooking the pasta or potatoes because you can use it for watering your plants. Up next is cleaning. I would separate that into 2 different sections, which is cleaning the dishes and cleaning the boat. For doing the dishes, I use about 1 liter of fresh water, so that's 7 liters in a week. That's because I do all the washing with salt water, and then I just rinse the dishes afterwards with a little bit of fresh water. For cleaning the boat, usually every day I just clean the surface of my kitchen and my table with a self-made cleaning solution, and I clean the floor about once a week, and then every 2 months I'm wiping down all the surfaces of the boat with a rag. So I would say probably 5 liters in a week for cleaning. I usually do laundry like once a week, usually the day that I use the Watermaker, and I'm using this little washing ball. It's a plastic ball with bioceramic balls inside that contain minerals and magnets, and apparently they increase the pH level of the water, which helps to eradicate dirt and germs and bacteria. There has been a bit of controversy about the effectiveness of these balls. For me, it works quite alright if I add a little drop from my natural detergent concentrate. I try to do laundry once a week, and then I use 15 liters of water for that, but mostly it doesn't work out, and I actually don't do laundry more than once in a month. How did that get in there, Boga? For body hygiene, like washing my face, my hands, brushing my teeth, and showering, I use about 4 liters of water a day, so that is 28 liters a week. I don't have an indoor shower on Karl. I usually just jump into the ocean, or if I don't feel like jumping in, I just take a bucket full of seawater and I rinse myself. Then I use a tiny little bit of fresh water to activate my natural plastic-free soap, and then I soap up, and then I rinse again with a bucket of salt water, and then I have about 1 liter of water to take the salt off. So let's look at how much water that makes in 1 week. It's 21 liters for drinking, 21 liters for cooking, 7 liters for doing the dishes, 5 liters for cleaning, 15 for laundry. it's 28 liters for body hygiene. So that is 97 liters of water a week. So let's say roughly 100 liters. And now I thought it was interesting to take a look at how much water usually people are using on average when living on land. So I looked up some numbers online and here's what I found. Well, drinking water is pretty much the same if you're on land or at sea. The number I found for cleaning is combined with washing your hands, brushing your teeth, and cooking. And they calculate more or less 18 liters of water per day for that. That makes another 126 for the week. For doing the dishes, it varies a little bit whether you do it manually or with a dishwasher, so let's say between 15 and 20 liters. Let's take the lower one, and that would make 105 liters of water for doing the dishes. Laundry highly depends whether you have a front loader or a top loader. A front loader will take 50 liters of water, and then a top loader can take up to 150 liters of water. So let's just take something in between, let's say 100 liters for laundry. Depending on the efficiency of your shower head, usually a shower head spits out between 10 and 20 liters a minute. So let's say you're having a 3-minute shower, which most of you probably aren't having, but a little bit more I would assume. But let's say 3 minutes, so that makes 45 liters of water just for one shower a day. So that would already make 315 liters of water just for showering in 1 week. Now if we add up all of this, then we come to 646 liters of water per week. That is nearly 7 times as much as the water that I use on my sailboat Karl. I hope you found this little video interesting, and I'd love to hear how much water you're using in a week, and maybe you have some advice on how people can reduce the weekly amount of water that they spend in their lives. So let's hear it.